All right, welcome back. We're here at the second to last segment of this Alliance tournament. It's been 2 long weekends. It's been 2 wonderful weekends. We wish we had more time, but the finals are coming up. So in the spirit of the finals, we have a special guest here. It is CCP Sulu. Welcome.
Thank you.
For the people who don't remember you for a carrier nerf a while ago, what do you do at CCP today?
Today I'm the senior producer of EVE Online.
All right. So you are the person who says, let's do this and let's ship this thing now and all that stuff.
Yes.
All right. How does it feel to get Incarna out of the door? It's been kind of something we've been working on for a while. Is it going to be a big relief for you to see this finally come out?
Absolutely. It's gonna, it is like Tori was saying earlier, this is the sort of first step in a journey, but getting that first step through and done with is going to be a tremendous sort of relief of having shipped. And then it's going to be very exciting to see where we can take it from there.
It definitely will be. Do you think we'll have, do you think it'll be like, oh, now it's done, we can kind of relax a little bit, or is it just full speed towards the next thing?
What are you hoping for?
I'm kind of hoping we just relax and I can have a few days at home and just...
Well, it's summer vacation's coming up. But no, there are set next steps. They're gonna be coming up immediately after the Incarna launch on Tuesday. So there's plenty of stuff to work towards, and we're gonna be, it's gonna be pretty hectic until probably, December.
Damn it. All right. So one of the questions we do get from the players is, so we'll be shipping the Minmatar's captain's quarters. How soon do we think we'll have the rest done?
Well, we're expecting to have the rest done, integrated, polished, and shipped sort of in the bottom of August, late August.
All right. So spend a bit of, Sastro, you're pointing your pen.
Just have a question on that note. In the past, you've done like 2 big expansions a year.
Yep.
But with Incarna now, we're going to see more like as it gets built, we're just going to stick stuff in the game?
Oh, absolutely. And you saw the first steps of that with Incursions, where we started the Incursions expansion on November 30th, if I remember correctly. And then it sort of got staggered out, and we did stage deliveries right up until we did the character creator launch itself in, what was it, January 21st.
Something like that.
Dates, right? No, but absolutely. I mean, we're gonna theme the expansions. We're gonna theme these time periods for something special, like we're doing now with Captain's Quarters, like we did with the character creator. But it's going to be a more sort of as it is ready as we are happy with it deployments.
Good. I like that.
Good. I'm glad that you like that.
Sastro's happy, everyone's happy.
Yes.
All right.
Everybody's smiling. This is terrible.
Everyone's kind of happy. So what about all this dust? I mean, are we going to be sitting here talking next year in the combined EVE and Dust Alliance tournament?
I think it's not going to be the EVE and the Dust Alliance tournament, but I do think that whatever happens in Dust is going to have a meaningful impact to what happens in this Alliance tournament, for sure.
Right. What has, you guys are you are like the guy in charge, and you've been here for quite a while. Of all the expansions that we've shipped so far, which one has been your favorite?
Oh, favorite in terms of stuff getting out, or just favorite in terms of
which one did you
getting
like
it out the door? In terms of getting it out the door, I think when we did the Trinity graphics upgrade, that was an amazing thing. It was changing out the graphics engine on a running game was it was amazing to just sort of get that milestone complete. In terms of content, it's kind of hard to say, really. I mean, there have been so many terrific expansions. I think, though, right now, my favorite is Incursions, simply because of both of the Incursions feature itself, but also because of the character creator. And getting that thing out the door again, sort of creating a graphics engine that can handle avatars instead of just spaceships and all that. Again, sort of massive technical undertaking, a lot of art going into it, and a whole lot of game features, as you saw with the Incursions themselves, and the balancing fixes we did, and I mean, in general, just it was a huge expansion.
It was awesome.
Really. Even if it took like 2 months to really get it out the door.
We'll talk more about that. We do have another dev on the line. We have CCP Daisha on the line. I believe we'll get him up on screen. There we go. Look at that guy. Are you here?
I'm here. I don't know what the picture is, but I'm here.
It's a picture of you, fittingly enough, from Mexico. You're in Mexico right now, aren't you?
Oh, they dug up that picture from last year.
So, what are you doing in Mexico?
Just hanging out. little
All right.
vacation time before we move into July and August, which is our busy season in events.
All right. Well, that does sound very nice. So you are in charge of events. We've kind of shifted pace in terms of what we do right now.
Right.
What's this new approach to the events?
I'm sorry, repeat the question?
Sorry, we were kind of trying to do some of the events with the players differently than we used to.
Yeah, that's right. And so, as you know, and you were with me, the first event we actually did this year was in Russia, which had such a huge response, as you so well know. We had about over 1,000 email responses to a single fan site mail, and we ended up having to kind of cap it down and having about 500 people show up to a fan event out there. In the past, I don't think that CCP has really done enough on this front to support these kinds of events. So what we're doing is we're moving into supporting these types of events a little bit differently than we have in the past. You guys had Dave Cowan on, Zappawork, who's throwing the Vegas event, and we have some other stuff going on in Dallas. The Vito events I think happen in like 3 locations now, in Montreal and London. They got another one in Nashville. Then of course the Austin event's coming up later on in the year. But I'm trying to get out there a little bit more and encourage people to get in touch with me directly, either on Twitter or my email, and just discuss this, because we're going to be moving into more of these kinds of events in the future.
All right. So if anyone is throwing some sort of Eve themed event, might want to get in touch with Reed on Twitter and see if he can't help you out with a bit of support. One of the things that we heard before was that there would be fear that this would take away from FanFest, for example. Do you feel that all this can just coexist and we can actually still have a growing FanFest while still supporting all these player events?
Of course you can. Well, with FanFest, we saw the largest FanFest as we did this year. I think it was a great move in us moving it to the March slot from the previous October-November slots that we had in the past, and now we're. And of course, I mean, I can't remember exactly how many. It was definitely over 1,000 we had in attendance to FanFest this past year. And no, absolutely. I mean, these kinds of things can coexist, and the focus on these events is going to lean more towards a player focus, such as what we're doing for the Eve Vegas event in late July, and of course the Nashville event, which is going to come up a couple of weeks after that.
All right, so we have the Vegas thing coming. We have the Nashville Vito event coming. Are we looking at any other events this winter?
This winter, well, we have a few other things that are coming up, and like I said, I'm encouraging the player base to do more of this. And of course, you can also have a look at the events and gatherings forum and see what's sticking at the top there to find out what's going on in your area. Right now, what's on there? I mean, of course, Vegas. We got the one in Dallas. That they've been running a constant one. I think it live out once a month in June. The Vito guys in London, of course, I think run it 2 or 3 times a year. One in July, and then do another one in the winter. There's a group in Austin, Texas, that's going to do one around the Game Developers Conference in early October. There's a few that actually I had never heard of before, such as the NC Blob, which holds theirs in Austria, which is about 100 to 120 people, I believe. Awesome. And of course, Gankaton, which I know that you're familiar with. That's from your home territory. They're up to number 20 or something now.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Something crazy like that. And of course, the other Vito summer camp from that they're going to run from August 12th to the 14th. And then there's other various ones out there, but we're pushing it out there, encouraging people to grow these events. And it can be quite a task to put these together, but I want people to know that we're out there to listen to you and try to assist you in helping put these things on and make them a success, and of course help market them.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on, CCP Daichi. I hope you have a wonderful vacation and come back all energized for all these winter events. Again, if you are a player out there, you're putting together an Eve theme event, go on Twitter. You should find Reed there. He's lurking around TweetFleet and Eve Online hashtags. Thank you very much for coming on.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Thanks. We're going to go straight into the commentary booth where CCP Sunset is ready.
Hi, I'm CCP Sunset back in the commentary booth, here still with Kill2 and with Ravy. How are you guys doing?
Very warm, but other than that, it has been great. Some really great matches.
Yeah.
It smells like a buffalo died in his room.
Okay.
But the tournament's good.
The tournament's
Yes.
great. We've got the final coming up.
Yeah.
So how do you think the semi-finals have gone? As
Great.
expected?
No.
I kind of expected Hydra to beat Razor.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's-
Razor has done really well, but Hydra is just such a high-quality team. It's hard to imagine a team like Razor coming up and beating. It would have been a huge.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was, well, I guess it wasn't as hard to imagine. But Razor kind of won a series of matches that seemed.
Yeah,
You're right. I mean, Hydra's
with
different.
persistence.
Hydra's different.
Razor had a lot of persistence, and they
Yes.
did all the right things, but they didn't have the same creativity with setups.
Words.
Bit more surprised by, although I can't really say surprised by Outbreak over Darkside. Darkside was an amazing team. They managed to beat the reigning champions.
Yeah, obviously this means Darkside's better than PL.
And
Outbreak's better than
Darkside,
Darkside. So pretty much everyone's better than PL.
Well,
except for Goons.
Yeah.
true. Very true.
Yeah.
So I was particularly interested to see in the Dark Side Outbreak match that was an All-Amar setup versus an All-Minmatar setup. This was a Minmatar slaves uprising to overtake the evil Amar overlords.
Sure, we'll say that. Yes. In that matchup, Minmatar ships generally do very well against Amaran ships in the tournament. You do more DPS with the Minmatar ships, you are you're less vulnerable to the cap warfare of the curses. So was a good matchup for Outbreak to get into.
Yeah, and it was nice. We saw a lot of I think everyone was a little worried about stagnation and the sort of setups that were fielded earlier in the tournament. And we got to see MMR a lot today.
We did.
There's lots of matches with that sort of.
Yeah, obviously last weekend there were a lot of questions coming through on the forums, just where's all the Amar ships, where's all the Galante ships, and it's been mixed up a little bit more this weekend.
It has indeed. Would have been nice to have been able to see more Galante.
Yeah.
That's one thing that we were missing.
I always want to see more Galante ships, personally. Now, back to questions from the forum. There have been a few questions coming through about bombs. What do you know about bombs? One of the questions was, why are the bomber setups not necessarily using bombs?
In a lot of the setups, especially where you're tight on CPU because you're using E-Ward, damps and such, it just is hard to fit the bombs. So often you'll have offline bombs, and you may leave them online at the beginning of the match, then actually offline them to online your micro warp drive later. But that takes a lot of work, so often teams will just leave them off entirely. Then you just use that extra high slot, put it as either empty or something in it as a heatsink, and focus on using the torp damage from range.
Okay. Now, there was another question about why aren't bombs necessarily used against the rep drones to take them off the logistics ships. My goodness, this is quite a long-winded question. To take them off the logistics ships where we sometimes see smart bombs used for that purpose.
Bombs can be used very well for that purpose. The problem is it's tricky to do.
Right.
It's easier to knock damage drones off your own logistics because you can tell them ahead of time, get the logistics to drive into your bomb. It's a bit tougher when you've got a moving target that's moving fast. And not trying to get hit by it. But yes, that is an excellent use for them. And I think the main reason we just haven't seen it is because teams haven't had the opportunities to. Often they've had no bombs in them, but it would have been better if they could have.
Just to add in, it's very important to add bombs to your overview. You can look
Yes.
very, very silly if you don't have them there. There's also been a few questions about the number of viewers that we've got tuning in to watch the stream. And I can tell you that we've been around 20,000 viewers, which is pretty amazing.
It's very impressive.
Pretty good.
And that's
Pretty good.
pretty amazing. So, is there any more that you can tell us about this final match coming up?
Yeah, I wish I could say kind of even more than I can, but I am a member of Hydra. I feel like maybe I have a little more than the average amount of access to information. And
Which,
Hydra,
of course, you'll be happy to share with us, right?
I mean, what I can. As far as I know, Hydra and Outbreak worked together from the beginning on this tournament. Like a lot of the restructuring of the CO2 group for Outbreaks. Mm-hmm. Getting moved to the other side of the bracket was engineered by Hydra members to make sure that it was possible for them to face each other in the finals.
It is worth noting that Outbreak as a corp was a member of How to Reload until right before the tournament too.
Right. So they cooperated a lot. I think the biggest concern is that now we're going to get a really boring final.
Well, I'm really hoping that they can give us something entertaining.
I think they will. I think they will.
I think I wouldn't expect them to necessarily be at each other's throats by any means, because they are such good friends, but maybe something where they are actually both trying to win, and then they have a deal where they give 25 of each chip to each other. Something like that would be very cool.
Well, we're certainly hoping to see a competitive final.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
that
we
should
should.
be
I
the
think we
case.
should.
Give us a competitive final, Garmin.
We'd really
For the sake
very
of your
much-
mom.
Yes, your mom will be very disappointed if you
She
don't.
would not want you to make a boarding match.
Very important. Right, well, if we have nothing else to add, then I think we're going to head back to CCP Soundwave in the studio.
Perfect.
Welcome back, guys. We're sitting here, ready as can ever be, just waiting for you guys to come back to us. All right, we've had a lot of good questions. So some members of the community are asking, why aren't you asking the hard questions? And I'll ask a hard question. I need you guys' support. Can you just look kind of menacingly at Sulu while I ask this question? What's this $99 thing?
We're totally trying to make as much money as we can of everyone, really.
All right, is this to feed our habit of eating gold?
Yes, eating gold and caviar, plated gold, or gold-plated caviar. I don't really know which comes first.
Right.
No, so this really comes down to the sort of third-party monetization blog that was written, right?
Yeah.
What's going on right there is that we as a company, we sort of saw that the need, this is, I mean, coming from all of the third-party devs, that they want to be able to make some money or at least charge for services that they're providing to the community, right? And they're using CCP services sort of, or CCP information to build tools on top of and funnel that out. And that's great, and that's absolutely amazing. What we wanted to have in place was a framework for them to do so in a secure manner. Basically, what we wanted to do was make sure that people weren't building, a tool that then all it did was just put, ISK selling sites advertisements all over the place, or people were like hammering our services, the API services, thousands and thousands of times a second just for the fun of it. So we wanted to put a contract in place to basically protect our brand, protect the IP and protect the brand, making sure people weren't doing silly things. The reason for charging $99 for the commercial license was just really because we needed a monetary value for the contract to become legally binding without having to go through a whole lot of hoops. Like showing a transaction shows that a contract has been accepted, basically. I'm lawyering here.
Yes.
Yes. The technical term is lawyering.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So what we needed was basically a token charge from the community. Yes. $99 obviously is not token by any stretch of the imagination. And I don't know really what more to say. I mean, charging $99 for a third-party development suite or a license is not what we're trying to accomplish. What we're trying to accomplish is building an environment where we can have as many people developing third-party apps as possible, whilst us still having some control of, how they're portraying our IP and our brand. Now, I think that the blog that was put out was, very good in many, many aspects. I mean, we've had lawyers go over the contract, and it is sound. It is what it's supposed to be. But there were some nuances in there that the community, they called bullshit on us for it, rightfully so. And what we're going to do now is go back, factor that into the new arrangement and try to come out with something, more to our needs and more to the community's expectations at the end of summer.
All right.
So, no $99. Just we need the token charge. It's going to happen.
See where
All
it
good.
goes.
You guys aren't helping at all. Like, you should be more menacing or something.
All right. Well, speaking of giving something another pass and just thinking about it as well, one of the other things was the Scorpion that we had a bit of a reaction to as well.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with that?
Well, I mean, I think it's perfectly logical that what we're really doing is selling a skin, a ship skin, really. But we have to sell it as a unique ship because we don't have the tools to really do custom paint jobs or something yet, for vanity. It makes perfect sense to have a trade-in for it. Absolutely. It doesn't make a lot of sense to just, spawn one magically. The Scorpion Fairy comes along and waves his little wand and titanium happens. It's not how Eve works. It's also known as
Scorpion Fairy. I like that one.
But I think, again, community called bullshit on something that we were sort of thinking about throwing around. Great that these things are just caught early in the inception stages rather than when we implemented them and launched them. So it just gives us time to go back and say, guys, that was maybe not the best idea, but here's a foundation for something that we can build on.
Better idea.
Here's a better idea, yeah.
All right. So talking about giving stuff to people, We've had contests all day. I think we're getting to our final contest. Let's see, this is the final match. This is a gift from our friends at EVGA and NVIDIA. This is the GTX 580 video card. This is the final Predict the Match, conveniently so because it is the final match of the day. You can win it. I have it right here. Just to increase the value, I will lick it slightly. There we go. You can now win this. I'm going to pass this on. I'm having, just hold it like this. Like, hold the bottom of it. All right. But, we've also given away this Alienware laptop and a graphics card, and we have the winners coming up on screen right now. These people will receive. The winner will receive a laptop. The second place will receive a video card. Let me just give the names here so you can just tell all your friends that you won this and make fun of them for not winning. The winners of this contest, the laptop from Alienware, that is not this one but the similar model, is Lysandra Okawa. The second place person, and this was not the video card, this was the bundle of the headset, keyboard, and the mouse from our friends at Logitech, is to Nois Luridin. Congratulations to both of you. You came closest on the PCU contest. And, well, laptop and the Logitech set are very cool prizes to take home.
Yes.
Internet spaceships.
Internet spaceships.
You know, one thing I wanted to mention. When you
just-
had that Team BFF video
Yes,
earlier,
yes.
There was CCP Punkturus was on there,
Yeah.
and I just wanted to give her a shout out. She is apparently like the Icelandic badminton champion, women's badminton champion. She challenged some of us to play badminton this past week.
Did you get Stalloned?
It did not go so well.
It didn't go so well. I was like, badminton, it's a girl, no problem. Oh, there's apparently things you can do with the little shuttlecocks that I was not aware of.
What are they called again?
Shuttlecocks?
Ah, excellent.
Yes.
I'd,
A good word.
I'd ask you to not use that dirty word on screen, Safro. So did you even get a point?
I did get 1 point.
All right.
And I rubbed it right in her face.
Oh,
So
that's
take
very-
that, Punkturus, I got a point.
Sportsmanlike of you.
Uh-huh.
3 points.
You
Very
sure showed her.
I did.
Anyway,
Did you have to play in a skirt?
No, but she offered.
Oh, okay.
I didn't take her up on it.
well, you know.
But the rest of you out there can dream. Maybe someday.
All right, we are ready. This is the final time these red lights will light up this year. This is the final match being
Gonna miss you,
ready.
red lights.
It is Outbreak versus Hydra for the grotesque prize of something like 120 billion-isk and ships worth much more. Sastro, who's going to take it?
Well, I think it was unfair to call Outbreak the B team of Hydra. This is Outbreak we've seen for a long time. It's interesting to see the politics of this. Outbreak, formerly of Krautbreak, perhaps would be in Hydra if it were not to field a second tournament team. They've done so well. Calling the B team's not fair. I give them my support, and Kill 2, take that.
Should he?
Well, regardless of the outcome, I think the clear winner here is Hydra, regardless of the match itself. So I'm going to call Hydra.
How come?
Well, you know, they did the groundwork this year. They practiced in a wormhole. They avoided all the spying, but they did all the spying themselves. They looked over all of the PL setups and all of the other matches. They found them. They spread around them to all of the other contestants. They played the meta game beautifully engineered. Outbreak and Hydra to be on the opposite side of the bracket. Just gotta give it to these guys. They played this one just right.
It impresses me so much that people take this tournament so seriously that they go on CC and practice in wormholes to not get spied on. That's so amazing.
Awesome.
Sulu, Hydra
Yo.
or Outbreak?
I think Hydra's going to take it, but I'm kind of hoping for Outbreak to take it. So,
That's fair.
I don't know. Left hand, right hand.
I'm going to stand by my original prediction. I still think Pandemic Legion's going to win this tournament. No, of course, Pandemic Legion are out. I'm kind of rooting for Outbreak. Let's see what happens.